I'm saying that red line. Peace, peace. My sound good? Vegan, what's happening? Peace, peace. Y'all let me know if my sound good. Everybody coming in. What's happening, child of the sun? Peace, peace. Is my sound good? Mic check 1 2 1 2. We good? Y'all let me know something. You hear the crickets? Yeah, cause I'm outside. Mother Nurture in the building. Peace, peace. Glad you can join us. Does my sound good? Everybody can hear me? Rob, what's happening? Peace, peace, y'all. Come on in, come on in. Like the live, share the live for me. Let everybody know we on live. Share the live. What's happening? Malik Bay in the building. Appreciate the gifts, y'all. Thank y'all for the gifts. Copper Hue, what's happening? Peace, peace. Shout out to everybody coming in. Peace, peace. Shout out to the American Indians. Shout out to the Moors, the Sephardics, the Tartarians. Shout out to all my copper colored races out here in the world. OCO, Wisdom, what's happening? Roll it if y'all got it. Y'all know the slogan. Peace, peace. I know I'm on a little late, but we gonna get it in. And we gonna recap it in the morning. Peace, Courtney, what's happening? Geechee, man, what's happening? You said, dang, they're every race now? There's only 2 races. It's only white and black. You can't say we're every race if there's only 2. Peace, peace. Thank y'all for the gifts, y'all. Thank y'all for the gifts. Thank y'all for the gifts. We about to get ready to get started in just a second. It's at midnight. Y'all want to do history or spirituality tonight? I'm going to let y'all choose tonight's live. What do y'all feel like doing? Only y'all know how y'all feel. Y'all want to do history or spirituality? Child of the Sun said history. Anybody else? We're going to do the best 5. 4 out of 5. Midnight said history. That's two. Machiavelli said history. He said, no, this is what I'm going to have to sit out. Why you going to have to sit out for? My ancestor spirit. What's happening, Kim? Copper Princess, what's happening? So it seems like everybody want to do history. Y'all feeling history tonight? What's happening? I am self. Peace, peace. We got 3 people that said history. History or spirituality, y'all. Which one y'all want to do? 3 people said history. What's happening? Capri Fillets. What's happening? Because if we're going to do history, then, hey, I got something for y'all on that one. It's just history and spirituality. Kim said spirituality. Copper said, yes, just do history. Okay? That's what we going with tonight. 4 out of 5 people chose history. So we're going to have to do the spirituality tomorrow morning, y'all. IOCL said history. Okay, so history. So a lot of people are starting to find out that the Little Hat people or the Z Nation is controlling the United States, right? A lot of us already knew that. What's happening, Benadryl? A lot of us already knew that and everything. You said Mer, Sephardic, Jew, Tartarians don't interest me. Well, they all American Indians. They should. On my ancestor spirit. American Indians, Moors, Sephardic Jews, Tartarians, we all the same people. They the same people going by different titles. So it should interest you. I mean, it's part of history. They all the same people. So everybody been learning that the small hats and the Z Nations and the people that the small mustache been trying to stop is controlling everything, especially the United States, right? Everybody been in for a rude awakening lately, and they like, oh my God, we have been conquered by Z Nation. Well, we have been conquered by Z Nation. That is nothing new, right? It's new to a lot of those who's just waking up and seeing it, but for a lot of us that been inside the community for a while doing our research, we already knew this, right? We already done blew the whistle on this back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and so on and so forth, right? Nobody listened. They called us conspiracy theorists. They shunned us, called us blasphemers. Oh my God, here go the people with the Illuminati. You know, folks did all that shit to us, right? Only to find out in the end, your conspiracy theorist friend and co-worker has been right this whole time. Okay? So the question now that everybody should be asking is, when did they infiltrate the United States? When did they infiltrate it? And who did they overthrow to gain control? All right? Who did they overthrow to gain control? We already know who they overthrown to gain control. It's on the background. Right? It's on the background. We already know who they overthrown. Right? 1920s. The War of 7 Nations, right? Behold a pale white horse and shit, right? They overthrew our ancestors and rewrote history. Right? They overthrew our ancestors and rewrote history. just like they did everybody in history that they've overthrown. Right? When they overthrew Britain, they rewrote their history. When they overthrew Africa, they rewrote their history. Right? When they overthrew Spain, Portugal, Rome, Vatican, they rewrote the history and pretended to be those very people that they overthrown. So let's take it back. Let's take it way back. Let me give y'all a little side mission real quick though. Let me give y'all a little side mission. Hold on, let me give you a little side mission real quick. Quick little chuckle, little hee hee ha ha, quick little chuckle. All right, this is the picture of the first camera that was ever invented. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. All right. You said I only do Olmec, Mayan, and Incan history in the generations after. They still the same people. Olmec, Mayans, Incans, Moors, Tartarians, Sephardic Jews, American Indians, mound builders. We all the same people. This is how the pyramids ended up on every other landmass. Alchemy, astrology, cosmology. A lot of American civilization ended up in other land masses because our brothers and sisters who we now today call Moors and Sephardic Jews and Tartarians took it and spread it around the world and civilized other nations. Same people, come from the same mother culture, just a different last name. Just like you and your cousins got different last names, right? But y'all still go to Big Mama house. But check this out though. Check this out. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. This is a picture of the first camera. Exactly, man. Who took the picture of the first camera? You know what I'm saying? Who took the picture of the first camera? This is the first camera ever invented. Who took the picture? You know what I'm saying? They playing in y'all faces. I just want to go ahead. No different than the first man on the moon. Who took the picture? And who other footprints is these? Why is there wind on the moon? All right. Is that the real first camera took the picture? Right? I say that to say this. These people playing in y'all faces. I say that to say this. These people are playing in y'all faces. All of your elect officials serve the same master. And they've been playing in y'all faces. Obama. Oh yeah, Trump. Hey, Bill Clinton. All of them. For one, they all related. Now the question that people should have been asking, okay, if they all related and they all Z Nation supporters, what you think they real identity is, y'all? I mean, let me test y'all real quick. If they all related and they all Z Nation supporters, who is these people in front of your face? And there you go, look up. There you go. When you throw the hat on them, it makes sense, right? You see them every day without the hat. This is why the public don't know, right? Because you see them without the hat a lot, right? Anytime they do it, they ain't got their small hats on when they talking to y'all, so you wouldn't even know. But when they go over there and touch this weird little wall, they gotta have their hat on, right? These Ash cannot. I've always been telling y'all, they don't always wear small hats, and they come in all shapes and sizes, right? I taught y'all about the black Chazars and taught y'all about the white Chazars. Obama will be a black Chazar. Everybody else will be a white Chazar, but they're all related, right? They're all related. So the very thought, right? The very thought of left, right, radicals, and the liberals and socialism and democracy and all of that shit come from the same people. And if you play their game, you gonna give them power. Now, let me break out an old newspaper for new people. He said that wall better give me 3 wishes. So, let me break out an old newspaper. This newspaper is called The Jewish Peril in the Catholic Church. This newspaper was written in, I think, 1920s. And it gives you a step-by-step plan of what they're doing, the purpose of what they're doing, and who they're doing it to. Okay? So, when I read this, hold on, let me find a page. What's that in this city? Peace, peace. So let me read this real quick for y'all. So it says that we have already fulfilled part of our work, but we cannot yet claim that the whole of our work is done. We have still a long way to go before we can overthrow our main opponent, the so-called Catholic Church. We must always bear in mind that the Catholic Church is the only institution which stood and which will, as long as it remains in existence, stand in our way. The Church, with their mythological works and in their edifying and moral teachings, will always keep her children in the state of mind as to make directions we have made in honor, our great honor, for the Gentiles to join us in our organization. In this newspaper, you and us in society are the Gentiles. Okay? I know we're not, but to them we are. All right? So this is them telling you. So every time you see that word Gentile, just think society. So they're telling you that we have to make society join our organizations. Right? We have made it an honor, a great honor for the Gentile society to join us in our organizations, right? Fraternities, sororities, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know, right? A lot of the sororities, fraternities that go on around that y'all know, you know, the Freemasons, Illuminati, what else? Eastern Stars, and you know, all that shit. All right, Improved Order of the Red Man, Anglo-Saxons Club of America, etc., etc. So they made society feel like it's a great honor to be this, and you see it with your eyes. Anytime a nigga become a Q dog, this nigga feel honored to be inside of a Greek fraternity. This nigga come to the club, turn up with his purple and shit. A Q dog, niggas be getting branded and shit. They be honored to be part of that Greek shit, but believe that they're African. But they pledging Greek to be Greek. But they American Indians though. This shit get real confusing though, right? But anyways, which are thanks to our gold are flourishing now more than ever. Yet it remains our secret that those Gentiles of society who betrayed their own and most precious interests by joining us in our plot should never know that those associations are of our creation and that they serve our purpose. So people don't know that these organizations that they join out of ignorance is part of the little hat people's plan. Oh man, hold on. Y'all follow me so far? Anybody got any questions? What's happening, Coco? Anybody got any questions? Y'all following me so far? They said we gotta make it till those people don't know, right? Even though all of those is our creation, but we gotta make it so the Gentiles or society don't know that. And we see it today. You see it all day. Man, when old dude so-called got bust up, you know, Charlie Kirk, you seen it for a split second. Yeah, the right did it, the left did it, it's the Trump, your liberalism, all that. You seen all that shit that people were screaming, anarchy. All that shit come from them. And people don't even know it. They organizations got society fighting against each other. And because of that, society will never uprise against the 1%. You're too busy fighting each other. Instead of coming together to understand who pulling the strings. All right? Black or white don't exist. They can't have a race war if society don't believe in race. They don't believe in race. It's black and white Chazars. Right? This document is called The Jewish Peril in the Catholic Church. It's a newspaper article. I think it was published in 1920s. 1920s, 1930s. Peep the date too. Peep the date. Peep the date. The date is very important. The date is very important. They was even saying gang members did it, which is insane. Yeah, man, look. To cause confusion. They did all that shit to cause confusion. You said recent fuck? Yeah, but the dates is important because that's when Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Woodrow Wilson, the banking systems really took off. And who controlled that? This is when the so-called CIA was beginning to be created. Who created that? This is when this word of, you know, anti-Semitic, this is when that word start being coined around this area. So anytime you start calling bullshit, they can, you know, you're being anti-Semitic, you're racist. Right? It's a deflect. It's a defense mechanism that they created. Anytime you get too close to the truth, they can just screen that shit. And society who's brainwashed will stand on their side. Man, why y'all messing with them people, man? Oh my God, you know, them black people trying to be everybody, and you guys the Jews now. You know what I'm saying? All that shit because people is ignorant. People don't know what to believe, but they gotta believe in something. This is the whole reason why people join organizations and associations, so they can feel a part of something. No different than people join fraternities, sororities, organizations, associations for the same reason why young brothers join gangs. So you can feel a part of something, so you can have some sense of family. Same reason. And they play on that vulnerability. Because when you're that vulnerable, you're open for possession. In order to understand the physical, you gotta understand the spiritual. This is why when I asked y'all in the beginning of my life, what y'all wanna do, spirituality or history, you should have said they both is the same. Because you can't talk about spirituality without talking about history. You can't talk about history without spirituality. They both is the same. Because when you talk about brainwashing and programming, you're not talking about history now. You're talking about vibrations, frequencies, brain waves, beta waves, theta waves, alpha waves. You're talking about bioelectrical fields. And this is what they manipulate to open you up for the programming. But first, you got to understand how they got in positions to do it. So, I guess we can start with history first. To figure out how they got there. Because a lot of people don't know how they got there. Everybody's so focused on Indian history. But people is failing to realize who overthrew the Indians for real. Because it wasn't no random British person. It wasn't no random Spaniard person. It wasn't no random Portuguese person. All of those are just labels like how white people call themselves Americans. If we want to be technical, it was little hat people in Z Nation, and it been them the whole time. That's why dude with the funny mustache exiled them. They didn't leave and migrate. They got kicked out because they was bringing sickness, famine. They was trying to become a dictator. The same thing that they called him to do, that's what they was doing. And they did what they did to him to continue to do the very thing that they said, man, come on, man, peep game. Right? Peep game. I know you don't get it, Chase. I know you don't. It's okay. It's not meant for everybody. It's not meant for everybody. But those who get it, get it. Those who don't want, hey. But now, if you spell out Ashcan, you feel me? Matter of fact, can somebody spell that name out for me real quick in the comments? Because y'all know I can't say it. But can you spell their name out? I'm going to show you a quick psyops trick that they did to you. And people never caught it. I'm going to show you something. Now, spell out the whole name. You almost got it, Haitian, but you're missing a letter. There you go, or there you go. There we go. Let me pen this real quick. Now, if you look at the last 4 letters, what do you get? Hidden in plain sight, right? They like to put stuff in plain sight, right? Last 4 letters, what do you get? They told you one person was something that they are. You got to remember who's telling you the story. So peep gang, let's keep going though. So like they said, the Gentiles, a society who betrayed their own, right? They betray their own society members and their most precious interests, which is family values, community, right? They join us in our plot and should never know that those associations are of our creation and that they serve our purpose. One of many triumphs of our Freemasonry, that boy said our Freemasonry, is that those Gentiles or society who become members of our lodges should never suspect that we are using them to build their own jails, upon whose traces we shall erect the throne of our universal king of is, and they should never know what we are commanding them to forge. We're commanding them to forge the chains of their own severity or servitude or slavery for our future king of the world. Oh man, hold on. It gets deeper than that. For anybody that want to get the screenshot, this is what we're reading from. I'm gonna put this up here for a second. Anybody that want the screenshot, this is what we're reading from. This was published in 1936. Oh, now 1936 is a key year. Matter of fact, that's a key year. Matter of fact, 1936. Facts, I got you. Ashkenaz means German when you take the A out of it. Yup. Man. Peace, peace, Dallas. Right. With a screenshot. If you guys want to go do your own research in your own time. We're going to let them rock out for a little bit. Y'all got y'all screenshot? What's that, Lola? Peace, peace. Ashken means black in Armenian. So we gonna go back up here real quick. So now I've been on for a little minute. So now listen. So quote, that is why we have been striving to discover the best way of shaking the church to her very foundations. We have separated the spirit. We have spread the spirit of revolt. Listen closely to this, because I told you it gets deeper. We have spread the spirit of revolt in false liberalism among the nations of Gentiles society, so as to persuade them away from their faith and even to make them ashamed of professing the precepts of their so-called religion and obeying the commandments of their church. We have brought many of them to boast about being atheists. And more than that, they glory in being descendants of apes. Let me zoom into that, because my boy Dallas Amaru been going hard on this evolution theory. Who created the evolution theory? Because not only is it a racist creation that gave birth to scientific racism, it's also there to make people atheists, to not believe in nothing at all. That's a way to disconnect you from spirit, ether. They already discovered ether in 1920s. So they got to figure out how to disconnect you from ether. Ether meaning spirit, soul, consciousness. If you are an atheist, you don't believe in that because you can't see it. So an atheist is somebody who pretty much don't believe nothing that they can't see. That already disconnects you not only from soul, spirit, and consciousness, but it also starts to make you a racist as well too. So now it's like you're unaliving one bird with two stones. All right. So we got people to brag about them coming from apes. Boy, we see that in live time. What's that there, Rashawn? You said YT pseudoscience? The evolution theory came from a black dude. This is another reason why we tell y'all stop giving YT people so much power, because you'll be surprised who created that crazy shit. It was a black dude who taught Charles Darwin that pseudo-evolution theory. Yeah, Charles Darwin was a student in his class. He learned that shit in Europe. Y'all take that information and do it what y'all will. You'll be surprised the face behind YT supremacy is not even a white person. But I'm going to leave that for y'all to figure out, though. So peep game. So we have given them new theories. Listen, we have given them new theories. We have given them new theories. We have given them new theories. Impossible of realization, such as communism, anarchism, and socialism, liberalism, and so on, which are now serving our purpose. They created all that shit. Left wing, right wing, democracy, socialism, anarchism, communism, liberalism, out of Africa theory. The world is a globe. They created all that shit. Yes, reclassified the American Indians to colored and Negro. That was them. That was them. Walter Plecker is a descendant of a German. Most of them in the 1920s who did this to you are descendants of Germans, or if not Germans themselves. Frank Boas, Woodrow Wilson, Walter Plecker, Melville Herstovix, Charles Darwin and his cousins and brothers. All of these niggas is Germans, Russians and Polish people. That's why I asked you who really colonized you for real. Y'all with me so far? Bite check, what two, we good? Shout out to everybody that's in here. I appreciate that. If you new to my page, let me know you new to my page so I know how far to go. And make sure you hit that follow button too. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hope to see y'all in future lives. So they said the stupid Gentiles. Listen to what they call it, society. Because remember, Gentiles is society. The stupid Gentiles, society, have accepted them with the greatest enthusiasm without realizing that those theories are ours and that they constitute our most powerful instrument against themselves. We have blackened the Catholic Church with the most ingenious illuminings. We have stained her history. We have stained her history. Who changed history? They stained the history. Who changed history? Who rewrote history? Who destroyed history? Peep game. And disgraced even her noblest activities. We have imputed to her the wrongs of her enemies and have thus brought these latters to stand more closely by our side. So much so that we are now witnessing our greatest satisfaction rebellions against the church in several countries. We have turned her clergy into objects of hatred and ridicule. We have subjected them to the contempt of the crowd. We have caused the practice of Catholic religion to be considered out of date and mere a waste of time. And the Gentiles, in their stupidity, have proved easier duped than we expected them to be. One would expect more intelligence and more practical common sense. Practical common sense. With the simplest common sense, you can see through the bullshit. But they are no better than a herd of sheep. So let them graze in our fields till they become fat enough to be worthy of being immutilated to our future king of the world. Ooh, shit, we're going to let it breathe for a second. What's happening, Day Dilla? Man, we're going to let it breathe for a second. Ooh, that's heavy. That's heavy. Man. He said, who is their future king? That's crazy. Hey. They're, man. Oh, I can't say that shit on TikTok. Just know that they are creating a false. Yeah, I mean, you read it in scripture. Whether you believe it or not, these people playing this shit out. They're creating their false Messiah right now. They're getting the world ready for him. He's supposed to be the controller of the new world order, right? The world with the one religion. Nah, it ain't Bill Gates. All those people puppets. Nah, all those people that we know puppets. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, all them other motherfuckers, all them niggas is puppets. All them puppets. All them like the throwaway cousins that they can sacrifice. Nobody you seen yet. Yeah. Even though a lot of stuff is hidden in plain sight, this one hasn't been unleashed yet. He says it's gonna be a ninja watch. Hey, I wouldn't. You know something, big dog? I wouldn't even bet. I wouldn't even bet against that. And if he's not like a ninja, he gonna probably look like Obama a little bit, or he probably gonna look like a 7-Eleven nigga but dark skin, right? Because they kind of already been priming y'all, right? When they be coming out with these CGI pictures of so-called Jesus and shit, we already know what he look like. So they kind of already priming you for what to look for. You know what I'm saying? What's happening? Sleep no more. Peace, peace. So let me read this to y'all real quick, because the plot thickens. The further we scroll down in this article, it gets thicker and thicker. So peep game. So where do I want to start at? Okay, so I want to start right here. So thus the council of our elders have proved successful. Quote, we are the fathers of all revolutions. Now, for those of us who've been deep diving into history, we already understand who funded both sides of revolutions. Okay? So they are the fathers of all revolutions because they caused all of them in history. They funded both sides, right? Even if those which sometimes happen to turn against us, we funded it, you know, because they got to make it look good, right? I can't give y'all too much. I got to make it seem like we losing here and there, right? Peep game, right? It's just like when you play the game, all of us who got a cousin who turned all the sliders up inside the basketball game, and you get to playing him, you be like, bro, hold on. Well, how you hitting all these threes so good? And then you go check the sliders. He got all the sliders up. So they can't have all the sliders up. So they have to create some wars that turn against them. Hint, hint. Free Palestine, Israel. Yeah, hint, hint, right? Peep game. So anyways, we are the supreme masters of peace and war. We can boast of being the creators of reformation. Now, when you research reformation, you're going to come up with reconstruction. Nah, listen to me. Listen to me. When you research reformation, you're going to come up with another word called reconstruction. So they're telling you they are the creators of reconstruction. Like the Reconstruction era. You notice when the Reconstruction era, all of history started changing and shit. Let me show y'all something. We're gonna come back to this. Man, Reconstruction era was a motherfucker. Man, let me show y'all something. After Reconstruction era, you start to see a large influx on what people is just now learning about who the Black Americans really are. Actually, you see it all through history, but after Reconstruction here period specifically, because the Reconstruction period is also called the end of the Negro rule. R-U-L-E, rule. This is the end. Before this point, the so-called Negro has been ruling everything in America. So, when I ask you, who overthrew you in America? Your answer should be Z Nation. Because Z Nation has been pulling the strings and been doing this shit the whole time. So, in 2025, when people is starting to be like, hold on, bro, I think the United States is conquered by so-called. Well, we've been conquered a long time ago. It's the age of awakening. The veil is being lifted. You are seeing who's been controlling shit now. We've been telling y'all. But now it's for your awakening so you can see who's doing it. But you have to understand who Black Americans are as well, too, though. And you got to understand our history. A lot of people don't know our history. They can't even grasp consciously this information. We know because of epigenetics. It's called ancestral memory. This is why we can grasp this very well. Step one, you have to do ethnocide. Before you overthrow and do everything, you have to commence ethnic cleansing. You got to ethnocide. Ethnos means nation. Side means to unalive. So ethnocide is the unaliving of a nation or nationality of people. The only people who had their nationality took from them is Black Americans. We went through that ethnocide in history. Not the natives. The natives been on the reservation. Shit, some of the natives work for these niggas. Okay? You went through the ethnic cleansing. From the ethnic cleansing, you went through racial integrity acts, which is the reclassification of you. You went from an American, because that's your nationality. Your nationality is an American. The whole fight was for you being recognized as a first-class citizen in America because you are an American. That's what the whole civil rights and the whole thing was about before they hijacked it and made it a race thing. It was never a race thing. It was about you being an American. Because that's what you are. So they gave you racial integrity acts, which reclassified you from an American, copper color races of America. Gave it to the European. You became colored. You became Negro. You became Black. You became Afro-American. You became African-American. You became Black again. Black people. Some motherfuckers is FBA now. Some motherfuckers talking about Anunnaki. Some people talking about Moorish Science Temple. You are a simple American. The American. From the Racial Integrity Act, you entered the termination policy. The termination policy terminated over 100 tribes that was once federally recognized and protected. It terminated those. After you got reclassified, your tribes got terminated. Now, once your tribes get terminated, you fell into the Urban Relocation Act. Now, the Urban Relocation Act literally moved us from rural areas, farms, plantations, open fields. They removed us from that because a lot of those plantations is yours, ours. Those ain't slave houses like they told you in false history. Those is your ancestor houses, and some of y'all ancestors is buried right in the backyard of those very plantations. You got to do your genealogy, because you'll never know that until you do your genealogy. Now, spitting in a tube ain't gonna tell you that. Genealogy, wills, land patents, that's what tells you that. So they got you off of those lands for a reason. With the Urban Relocation Act. So Urban Relocation Act pushed us from rural areas into urban areas, the inner city. That happened in 1950. You ain't been in the projects and the ghettos your whole life. You just got there. See what I'm saying? But again, who did this to you? Who did this to you? By the 1950s and the 1960s, a specific person said, I have those Negroes voting Democrat for the next 100 years. And black Americans been voting Democrat damn near 100 years. Almost. Not really. Probably like 40, 50 years. Damn, that's crazy. If they had to force you to be a Democrat, then what did you used to be? That's another question people should be asking. If they had to force you to be a Democrat, what was you before that? Once you understand that we was the Republican, you'll understand a little bit more in history. And you will start to see who you've been going against this whole time. You've been going against these same people all through history. This ain't our first encounter with these folks. We've been facing these people since slavery. 1400s, 1500s, 1600s. These very people is the ones that funded it. They forced us to start operating as a republic. Facts. Facts. And they did a lot more when they... Look, we're going to get back into that document. And it was very imperative for them to make you a Christian. It was very imperative for them to make you a Christian. This book is called, this is from the book called The Secret. Right? This is called The Secret. The Secret Doctrine of Christianity. That's what this book called. We're going to dive into this book later on in this week. Right? Because a lot of people want me to break down spirituality and religion a lot more. I'm going to break it down in a way that y'all ain't never heard it before. So, peep game. So, that there is a secret creed or secret doctrine of Christianity is not generally known to the majority who claim the name so-called Christian. But it has always been known to the mystics. Who is the mystics, y'all? I'm saying in C3. Who is the mystics? I want to test y'all memory real quick, because I told y'all who the mystics was. The mystics knew this truth. Who is the mystics? The Gnostics. Those who is called heretics in history. Those who are called pagans. Infidels. Indigenous people. Right? Druids. Spiritual people. That's what we call it today. Okay, so, but it has always been known to the mystics in and out of the church, and its flame has been kept steadily alight by a few devoted souls who were chosen for this sacred task. Listen, the secret doctrine of Christianity did not originate with Jesus, for he himself was an initiate of mysteries which had been known and taught for centuries before his birth. As St. Augustine said, that which is called the Christian religion existed among the ancients and never did not exist from the beginning of the human race until Christ came in the flesh. Christ meaning Christ consciousness. At which time the true so-called religion, which already existed, began to be so-called Christianity, Because the mystics, when we say Christian and we talking about Christ, we're talking esoterically. We're talking about consciousness. When consciousness came down into the flesh, are we not consciousness in the flesh? All right. Oh man, look, this shit. Man, we're gonna get into it. So how is that though? It is because Christianity has forgotten most of its original teachings, because it is now satisfied with only parts and a very small part of what it originally knew. They still have the same scriptures, you will say, yes, but those very scriptures tell you often of something more, which is now lost, which is meant by Christ consciousness, and followers of Christ consciousness, Gnostics, mystics, Gnosis, right? Christ's constant reference to the mysteries of the kingdom of God, which is your pineal gland within you. By his frequent statement to his disciples that the full and the true interpretation could be given only to them, and that to others he must speak in parables. Why? Why does he perpetually use the teaching terms connected with the well-known mystery teachings of antiquity? What does St. Paul mean when he says, quote, we speak wisdom, Sophia, among them which are perfect, unquote? A well-known technical term for men at a certain stage of initiation. Again and again, he uses terms of the same sort. He speaks of the wisdom of God in mystery, Sophia, divine feminine wisdom, the hidden wisdom of God, ordained before the world began, in which none even of the princes of this world know. A statement which could not by any possibly have been truthfully made if he had been referring merely to ordinary Christian teaching, which is openly preached before all men. So he's not talking about this modern Christianity that people's talking about, because original Christianity was a Gnosticism, right? It's not what you think it is today, right? It had a lot to do with understanding the conscious and subconscious mind. But hold on, I thought we was talking about history. We is talking about history. I'm telling you how they brainwashed you to make you forget your history. You knew all this. You forgot though. So when we overthrow American Indians, we have to program the children. But we got to program their subconscious mind to make them think that they African. And they came from somewhere in West Africa on slave boats, laying down in chains for 3 to 6 months, no food, no water. Treacherous tides. You ain't come nowhere. You've been already here. Okay? But we're going to put a pin in there because I don't want to lose y'all too much. All right, so let's go back. So far inside this document, we learn about Z Nation in the making, right? 1936, right? We learned about Z Nation in the making. We learned about all their theories that they created, and they propagate propaganda, right? Which is a committee of cardinals, right? Who's propagating the faith, right? So they created all the theories, spread it around the world, and put it in the schools. You know, same time Rothschild, Rockefeller start taking over the school systems. They start putting in all their theories inside the school. Out of Africa theory, Big Bang, you came from a monkey, and all that shit like that, right? Wrong mathematics, pseudo biology in some cases, and words and spells so you can cast curses on yourself, right? So this is the same time all this is going on. We learned it. We learned about all the organizations and associations that they controlling and pulling the string, all your fraternities, sororities, Freemasonry, church, etc., etc. All right, boom. Just had to catch everybody back up to speed. So now, they are the masters of reformation. Right? They are the masters of reformation. Which is reconstruction. I'm trying to find a specific spot. Okay. All right. So they are the masters of reconstruction. Now you can start to understand who start tearing down these structures. What's that now? Now you can start to understand who start tearing down these structures, all these great fires. Right now, when you talk about this same timeline, when they're destroying what America used to look like, they talking about all the great fires that mysteriously happen. If you look at the timeline, look at the stories, it matches up with the Black Massacre map. Not for real. It matches up with the Black Massacre map. Because all of this stuff was ours that they tore down. That big ass statue was ours. The neighborhoods that surrounded it was ours. Remember, we had $1 billion of real estate in 1920s. That's a lot of money in the 1920s. Who was running America? Who got overthrown? These people didn't just pop up and infiltrate it. They overthrew somebody. It's a specific group of people that a lot of people is looking over and calling pretendians. Y'all gonna be surprised when shit really, really hit the fan fully. 10:10 on the clock when I said that. Now I say this because y'all can go down this rabbit hole if y'all want to. Hopefully those who love research will go down this rabbit hole. If you look at a lot of these pictures from the 18 to the early 1900s, you'll start to find pictures of people taking pictures in front of the structures they destroyed. If you zoom in on the people, you'll start to see a lot of little hats. And I'll show y'all an example tomorrow morning of what I mean by that. But you'll start to see a lot of little hat people standing in front of them structures that was destroyed. Right? Because when we be looking at Ellis Island, we see, damn, why all these people got black suits on and hats and shit like that? You ain't think about it. You saying it, but it's not registering. Why all these people got black suits on and hats? Zoom in on the picture. A lot of those hats is little hats. And I'm talking about brim, hat, curl, Amish type of motherfuckers. Why? Because that's the same year they was getting kicked out. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. It's a reason why. Man, listen to what I'm telling y'all. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. The Ellis Island, in the 1900s, Ellis Island is literally the date when Polish people came here, Russian people came here, German people came here. And I say that, what's that, Opa? And I say that because that's the year that we was invaded by little hat people. Why? Because dude with the funny mustache kicked them out. Because they was spreading disease, famine. They was trying to set up central banks and they was trying to corrupt everything over there. So they got kicked out. Those camps that y'all be seeing on those old footages, when they be like, oh, the Holocaust is so sad. Go watch those videos, really, with your third eye. That is a quarantine camp. They kept them quarantined because they was sick. And they was spreading that shit. And I'm saying that because I'm telling you who spreaded the Black Plague in the 1300s. Same people. Same people. Same people that spreaded that shit in the 1300s is the same people who was spreading that shit in the 1800s, same people who was spreading that shit in the 1900s. Because think about it, as soon as these same people came here to America, we start getting hit with Spanish flu and shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas start getting sick around the bit. Niggas get, man, what the fuck going on, man? I don't know. Fucking smallpox and shit. Yeah, chicken pox. The fuck chicken pox? What the hell? The hell chicken pox come from? You do your research on where chicken pox come from? Boy, that shit gonna make you mad than a motherfucker if you ever had chicken pox. You gonna be like, hold on, nigga, what? Yeah, bruh. And they hit you with the jabby jab. Put that shit straight in you. Who? Who controls the medicine? Like opium be telling y'all. Who control the medicine? Who control the hospitals? Who control the vaccines? The same people. America has, oh man, we have been infiltrated. We got overthrown in 1898. Exactly. By these people. By these little hat people. This is why it's not far-fetched to see the descendants of these very people playing y'all face. Because remember, all of them related. If one of them related to a small head person, all of them related. And you got to understand where the Caucasus Mountains sit at. Because these is your real Caucasians. Your Anglo-Saxons. Right? Your Germanic descendants, Polish descendants. Oh man. You know what I'm saying? And they know who you are too. That's why people think that they're gonna get some reparations. Come on, man, for real. Now that you know what you know, do reparations even sound believable? You think these people gonna cut you a check? These people pretending to be you. 1828 Webster Dictionary told you. Copper-colored American Indians. Yes, we get that. But now that term applies to the European. Who's the European? I'm showing y'all the European that the American applies to. They pretend to be the Indians with the improved order of the red man. They in the BIA. These niggas controlling casinos, controlling your Congress, your government, your left wing, right wing, liberalism, consumerism, communism, socialism. They controlling all that shit, man. They playing in y'all face. It don't matter who you vote for. Because we was the original Republicans. When they overthrew us, that's when they took the seat of the Republican, but they still kept the Democrat. And it's been both sides of the same ego ever since they overthrew you in 1898. So this is why it don't matter who you vote for. You're voting for the same people. I'm gonna vote for Obama. I'm gonna vote for Trump. Nigga, they all at this weird ass wall. I don't like George Bush. You know, Bill Clinton was pretty cool. And you know what's crazy? It aggravates me how so-called the black community can love Bill Gates the way they love, I mean not Bill Gates, but Bill Clinton, the way that they loved him. What even makes it worse is that the people who grew up in the 80s and the 90s who supported Bill Clinton, y'all knew he passed the 3 strikes law. And y'all still love this nigga. People love Obama, mad at Trump, and they both did the same thing with the immigrants. If y'all remember the whole 8 years that Obama was in office, he was snatching up immigrants and shipping them niggas back. He was doing the same thing Trump was doing. They all were doing the same shit. They the same people from the same family. They all related. It's our family against their family. And that's what it's always been. Our family, their family. Now, if you don't know who our family is, then y'all ain't been paying attention in history class. All right? If you don't know who our family is, you ain't been paying attention in history class. Our family. Yeah, our family. This is why I teach the so-called Moors history the way I teach it. Because when I teach it, you'll understand that, for one, Moor is not a nationality, it's not an ethnicity. Moor just means Negro. That's all it means. Negro. That's literally all it means. When you go back to the oldest definition of a Moor, it means Negro. So when they say Moors spread civilization around the world, they said Negroes. But what they didn't tell you is that these Negroes came from America. So when I say, so my mind, because I know better, Moors are from America. Why? Because Moor means Negro, and these Negroes are from America. Right along with all the other American Negroes. But since words are interchangeable, right along with all the other American Moors. When you know better, you read better, and you do better. So this is why I say these are all the same people. When I teach you about Sephardic history, who kicked the Sephardics out of Iberia? Who have the Sephardics been fighting this whole time? They've been fighting the Ashkenaz. So this is why when you read in history, there's a lot of Sephardics who linked up with the American Indians, the ones on my background, and they fought the crown and they fought the church. And they've been fighting the little hat people, the Chazars, right? That's history. Well, hold on, Los, but I did read that Moors and Sephardics had Indians as slaves. Y'all are forgetting that Athabascans are also called Indians in history. Whether we recognize it or not, because we know better, that doesn't change the history books that has already been written. So in those history books that has already been written, Athabascans and the Mongolians are called Indians too. They just Chinese Indians is what they're called. Chinese Indians. You are American Indians. So now you know that. Now you can start to understand Indian conquistadors. Indian conquistadors are these same Chinese Indians who's working with the little hat people because they're both Russian, right? Put it together. They both Russian, right? Athabascan, Siberians, a sub-ethnic group from Russians, Poland's, Germans, little hat people. They the same motherfuckers. So now you understand who the Moors and the Sephardics was really enslaving, because it wasn't us. It was them. And we was enslaving them too, because we knew what they was trying to do from the jump when they got here. You got to learn how to read context clues and have comprehension to know who is who in the story and separate it. Because they will confuse you by putting everybody in this one bubble, Indian and more. You got to separate it. That's why I like to be specific. Sephardics, Berbers, Tuaregs, right? Mound builders, Indians, Shadas, Natchez. I like to be specific so you can really understand it. I hate when people generalize it because it causes confusion. This is the reason why people don't know so-called Moor history, or the reason why people don't understand the religion crusades, which gave birth to colonial periods and slavery and the overthrowing of our people here in America and all of this type of shit. Niggas is still fighting over titles when we all the same people being enslaved by the same people. Yeah, we was fighting what we call today Z Nation, Lil Hat people, Ashkenaz, you feel me? If you want to say the Slavic nations, yeah, you can say that, Slavic nations, all of these, but I'm telling you who they are today. Today they are little hat people. Chazars, exactly. Right? So this is why I'm very adamant, and I'm gonna keep pushing it, that there's a lot of pseudo Moors on these apps that don't know shit. Stop listening to them. If a nigga say that he's part of the Nation of Islam, this nigga sound like he's from the Science Temple and he a Noble Drew Aliite and all he teaches is law and Noble Drew Ali. Stop listening to them niggas. Them niggas is not real Moors. Them niggas is not real Moors. Them niggas don't even know their genealogy. They don't even know which ancestor came from that so-called lineage of a so-called Moor. These niggas don't know shit. Stop listening to them. Anything them niggas say is false. Don't even listen to them when they be talking about this law shit, because they gonna have your ass locked up for paper terrorism. Don't just leave them niggas alone. Them and their Yaqub stories and shit, leave them niggas in their own little corner. Because that ain't got nothing to do with nothing that we talking about. We talking about real history that we can prove on paper. Them niggas ain't real. Why you think none of them ever tried to debunk anything I said? Because, come on, man. You can't debunk what I'm saying. I'm giving it to you real and raw. But the Moor Science Temple was an organization that was created by the small hats. Again, what we just read inside that newspaper, they created all organizations and associations. They funded Noble Drew Ali. They funded Marcus Garvey. They funded the Anglo-Saxons Club of America. They funded Walter Plecker. They funded Melville Herstovix. They funded the NAACP. All your so-called historic, it ain't even, you know, historical black college is an oxymoron. There's no such thing as a historical black college. Why? Because all those colleges was created by, you guessed it, small hat motherfuckers. All of those colleges was created by small hat people. There is no such thing as a historically black college if the creators are small hats. Y'all better go do y'all research, man. You gotta do your research. The fuck? Now, exactly, now if you want to get into some real history, Those were residential Indian schools for so-called black Indians, or what we like to call orphanages, asylums for colored people. That's what they was at first, but they're not going to tell you that. They're just going to tell you historically black college and teach you a bunch of African shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. Yup, we definitely had mystery schools. Before the invasion of the identity snatchers, we had a lot of schools. We had schools that taught our mysticism and spirituality. You know, we had school that taught our hoodoo-ness and nature and how to make herbal bags for healing and tea and everything like that. We had herbal classes. We had building classes, you know, for those who did construction and building and everything. We had the same stuff that you have in trade school. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff was us, which is our culture. This is why they took the trades from us. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that stuff was already ours and inside of our schools, because we had a lot of schools that we had before they destroyed them. And we taught all this, financial literacy and you know, real politics. You know, we taught all that type of stuff before, you know, we got invaded by little hat people. Up 1902, General Board of Education. Yep. Before, and again, and the invasion happened before the Rothschilds, because, you know, you got J.P. Morgan, you got the Peabody family, all of those small hat people, and they was controlling everything before, and they just handed the power over to the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, right? In the 1900s. So J.P. Morgan and the Peabody initiated the demolition of America. Should I say that, right? The reconstruction, the demolition of America. That's what J.P. Morgan and the Peabodys was up to. After they got done with the demolition, okay, boom. When it comes to that PSYOP shit, we're going to go ahead and pass it on over to this side of the small hat people, because they specializes in PSYOPs and illusions, because they're mystics as well too. Don't get it twisted. They into mysticism too. Just the only reason why they can perform their type of black magic to put you in illusion. Exactly. They're mimics. They learned how to mimic us, and they reverse engineered it. All right. They created a I don't like to say magic, because people be like, oh, but for layman's terms, so real magic, spells and stuff like that, is good when it's coming from nature. But nature also has a negative side of things. And if people can tap into the negative energy of the nature, they can manipulate it and create artificial mystic teachings, which causes, you know, artificial magic, you know, for sort of say. So spirituality and a Gnosticism right now is a fight for natural magic, organic, the right magic, against artificial bad magic, which is what they're doing. But a lot of our people got to wake up on the spiritual and the conscious side of things, because they made you not believe in the unseen. And they did it for a reason. It's the whole reason why they told you Big Bang, evolution, you came from monkeys and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you stop believing in God, you start believing in yourself, because you are God. Ye are gods. God is within, the kingdom of God. As above, so below, as within, so without. We are all one consciousness. God is pure conscious. But when they make you stop believing in God and just even the concept or thought of God, you disconnect yourself from the unseen and the spiritual, which I call the ethers. The ethers is the consciousness that you're breathing every day. When you hold your breath for X amount of times, right? When you hold your breath, your body and your organs still function. The first thing you lose is what? Consciousness. Why? That's because you're breathing consciousness. When they say God is ever present, God is consciousness. And consciousness is all around. You're swimming in it. That's what the free energy is. And by us being semiconductors, you can tap into that free energy at will. They took that knowledge and information from you. And they made you start looking outside of yourself for God. If you even still want to believe in that. Or you become an atheist and don't believe in the unseen at all. They got you. They got you. If you're gonna be an Indian, you gotta study spirituality. You gotta study spirituality. You gotta study Gnosticism. You gotta have some type of belief for yourself, because real Indians are God-like people. This is why they called us Indios. God-centered, God-like people. You gotta have some type of belief system. I'm not telling you to believe in Jesus or whatever, but you gotta believe in something. You gotta believe in the all-creator. You gotta believe in consciousness, matter, atoms, molecules, frequencies, vibrations, quantum physics, the unseen. And that's what you call imaginary. When you look up the etymology of the word imaginary, it just means you can't see it. It don't mean fake, false. Literally, the etymology of imaginary just means you can't see it. Nigga, that's ether. That's consciousness, nigga. Your kids who got imaginary friends is really playing with somebody. You just can't see it because you are disconnected from the ethers. Kids are still connected to the ethers because they're fresh from the portal that pushes you from the spirit realm into the physical realm. So kids is still tapped in. So your kids is, imagine that shit real. They playing with somebody. You just can't see it. Because your ass vibrating low. You full of fucking McDonald's and processed foods and shit. You full of azo dyes and alcohol and fucking cigarettes and Cardi B music and love and hip hop and your ass full of bullshit. You can't see no real shit if you full of bullshit. What's happening, A1? Y'all can feel free to ask any questions. We just dialoguing right now. Yeah, something was really under the bed. Something was really in that closet. Them kids wasn't playing. You seen it too sometimes. You cut off the light, that damn pile of clothes on your chair turned into a bean. You cut on the lights. Boy, hold on, bro. I know I ain't tripping, nigga. That shit was real. Yeah. They polluted your mind. They had to pollute your mind. Why did they pollute your mind? Your mind is the throne of God. That's where God lies, the kingdom of God. It sits between both hemispheres of your brain to sync them up. I knew I felt something in the room with me. I was sleeping, something hit me real hard, woke me up. Yeah. If you're low vibrational, doesn't that subsequently enable the kids? Nah. Everybody is born with their own electromagnetic biofield. So the parents can be low vibrational and the kid can be high vibrational. Because y'all are not one for real. Once you push the kid out, then boom, y'all are separate entities, but come from the same source. But they got their own biofield. But if the parents both are high vibrational, it helps the kids out a little bit more better along their journeys. Mm-hmm. But you can influence your kids to vibrate low though. So it's really best for both or either one parent to be high vibrational. Because if you got two low vibrational parents, then that kid gonna probably more likely be vibrational, because we also mimic energy. We absorb energy and we emit energy. So we can either transmute it or we can become it. Right? So without the right knowledge of the gnosis, you'll be, a lot of our people been gambling. What's happening, Swarthy? Peace, peace. So somebody said to pollute the mind. I'm glad y'all said that, because it brings me back to this book right here. Right? They had to pollute the mind. Why do they want to pollute the mind? Why do they want to pollute the mind? Why they got fluoride in your water? Why when you 444 likes in here? I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We all synchronized. You go to the store, you buy a bottle of water, your water got ingredients and shit. Potassium, sodium chloride. Nigga, I just want some water, bro. What the fuck is this shit? Boy, I go into the corner store. That shit just look like poison to me. Every aisle I go down, I see a skull and crossbone on it. I'm like, damn, Skittles, a Snicker, fucking gummy worms. You got the Al Ghul back there. Okay, it's energy water, Red Bull. I'm like, boy, shit. Let me, I got my little guilty pleasure. Man, let me go and get me a box of filter tip blacks real quick and let me get the fuck up out of here. You know what I'm saying? I got my little guilty pleasure, but, I like tobacco because I'm indigenous. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that they got a hold to one of our sacred plants and did what they did. But indigenously, bro, I mean, shit, my grandma still dip snuff, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, but at the same time though, that shit just the store just don't look like the store no more when you wake up. I said the same thing about Walmart when I worked there. Ain't no real food in here. Nah, I'm for real. And that shit even worse when you work in those places and you be woke. You feel me? Like when I first started waking up to everything, I probably like 23. I was working at Arby's and shit. I was working at Arby's in the daytime, and I was working this bar and grill at nighttime called TK's Pub. And I'm just in there like, damn, somebody come through talking I want 5 roast beef sandwiches. I like, ugh. Boy, you don't even know if this shit roast beef, my nigga. Ugh. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't eat. I was like, bro, let me get the fuck about this job. I go to the pub, somebody ordering a steak and shit. I'm back there having a guilty conscience moment, like, damn, bro, I'm about to cook this shit. Don't nobody in this bitch know if this real steak. I done seen them videos on YouTube, the Soviet green and all that shit. I like, boy, damn, but nigga, my bills is due, so let me go ahead and fry up whatever the fuck meat this is and give it to this nigga real quick. I still gotta pay the bills. Damn, I'm trapped in the maze, boy. That shit, hey, having a 9 to 5 and being woke, man, I'm telling you, that shit kind of conflicting a little bit. Like, woke people gotta have specific jobs. Like, niggas can't just be out here winging it. Like, if you woke, you literally gotta have a specific job if you're gonna just try to breeze through the matrix a little bit. If you woke, your ass can't be working in fast food. That shit ain't gonna work for you. Pretty much any food industries, unless it's high end. But most of the food industries, you be like, hell, bro, you getting all type of mystery meat. It be old people ordering it. You be looking at this old lady. You be like, damn, shawty, you don't even need to be eating a Whopper. You know what I'm saying? It be bots and shit. I'm talking about when I was working fast food and like I was working in Toys R Us and shit like that, like jobs and shit like that. I was like, I felt like I was in the Sims sometimes. I woke up, it was the same shit. You know who gonna walk in the door. You know what your coworkers gonna say to you every day. Like that shit is like a script. I was like, bro, this shit like the Truman Show, bro. I gotta get the fuck up out of here. Now, if you get jobs like in helping people, you know, like healthcare, helping people, if you like mechanic works, if you like jobs where you just secluded and shit, you know, those is the type of jobs that most woke people get or need to get. You know, jobs where you know, work from home, you away from motherfuckers and shit. Yeah. They got a nice little lane for us too, because they knew that we was gonna wake up. Remember, they designed the game. We're trading stocks. But hey, but for the most part of society, because you know it's like 59, 60 people in here and y'all enjoying the live, so I know I'm around my woke folks. Right? So I know I'm around my woke folks, right? So why you think they target your brain? Listen, why you think they target your brain? When you watch TV over, and not just TV, but when you scroll on social media past a certain time, you know you start entering brain rot. Go research brain rot. When you scroll aimlessly on TikToks and social media, when you watch TV for ungodforsaken hours and binge watching, you start to enter brain rot mode. Because you, for one, you overflowing the dopamines in your brain, for one, and serotonin levels and shit. Some of y'all be watching movies and TV shows that be stressing you out, so your cortisol level is up and shit, blood pressure high. Yeah. Hey. Hey, look. So it ain't just the food. Silent weapons for quiet wars is all around you. For real. Y'all know 80s and 90s babies. Y'all know how it was growing up. Going to your grandmama house. She watching the stories. She all invested. Now, why they go and do that? Man, you should have known they was going to meet you. Oh, my God. She all stressed out about the stories. That ain't even real. You go back to your mama house. Your mama, she probably watching, you know, her little shows and shit. Movies, cussing at the TV screen. Come on, man. Y'all know what it is. What's that name? Emotep, peace. They have to disrupt your consciousness. Because God is here. The kingdom of God is within you. This is what that passage means inside the Bible. Because remember what I just read to y'all. Your regular people and so-called Christians, when they read the Bible, they don't know what they're reading. They don't know that they're reading in a Gnostic text. Meaning you still got your spirituality and your culture right there in your hand and you don't even know how to read it. That's an inside joke for them. Cause y'all believe, man, they gave us the Bible. The white man gave us the Bible in slavery and shit to enslave. Boy, man, stop playing. Your family had family Bibles before the Europeans got here. You better ask your ancestors about a family Bible and what they was. American Indians had family Bibles for a long time. Remember, America's the real old world. Everything came from here. So a Gnosticism came from here. What you think hoodoo is? Hoodoo is a Gnosticism. Our ancestors knew about the holographic universe and frequencies and vibrations. They written that shit down. When them people came over here and tried to forcefully convert you into their into their Hellenized Christianity, which is what you see today, our ancestors had to hide our culture under religious ways. This is where you start getting crypto Jews, crypto Moors, crypto Indians, because we had to hide our culture inside the church so we wouldn't be persecuted. This is why when you go into so-called black churches, that's a whole hoodoo ritual and you don't even know it. They always read from Psalms because they'll tell you that's a spell book. They hid our culture inside the Bible. And you don't even know how to read it. I ain't telling you no lie. Can't nobody debunk what I'm talking about. This is spirituality. This is some shit that's undebunkable. We into spiritual realms with the history. You still got your culture and you don't even know how to read it. You don't know how to decode it. You stop believing in it because they wanted you to stop believing in it. That's why they taught you the way they taught you. So you can. Remember, the pastors are agents. The pastors are taught to teach this to make you not believe in God. In God, because God is in. In God. Believe in God. God is in. That's why they teach it. For 40 years, niggas been learning about Matthew. I'm 35. Damn, how long y'all been teaching this Matthew shit? Well, my grandma, man, I remember my pastor was teaching Matthew when I was a little girl. Luke, yeah, same pastor. And Joe, you niggas been learning about the same shit for 40 years. You don't touch it. They don't touch into nothing else. Because everything else will start to get a little bit too deep. And it'll start to help you remember a little bit too much more. Because remember, when you know how to read it, you'll understand that the Old Testament already places the setting in America. Again, America's the real old world, like we said. First land out of the waters. The Old Testament in the Bible, which is the whole beginning, places you in America. From the quail that they describe to the trees in Florida that they describe, to the mountains in Utah and Canada that they describe, to the Fertile Crescent that is right there by the Mississippi and the Yucatan, and it makes a literal Fertile Crescent where they say humanity was born. You got to understand what you're reading because they talking about you. American Indian, Los Indios or Los Indios, God-like people, God-centered people. This is Eden, the navel of the universe, the center. Peep gang. So they had to attack your pineal gland to make you forget all that. Because epigenetics, you already know this information. You just don't know you know this information. Right now, y'all think I'm teaching y'all something, but I'm only helping you remember. Consciousness. You have already been here before. You already know this. Knowledge and information is infinite. You breathe it every day. Information. You already know this. I'm just helping you remember. That's why I ain't never called myself a teacher. Because to me, I don't feel like I'm teaching y'all nothing. I'm just helping y'all remember. I'm more like a psychologist, a therapist. Help you unlock those doors of consciousness that you forgot lived there. Just on the ancestral level. This is why detoxing is important. You have to detox the body and detox the mind. The same way you detox the body, you got to detox the mind. This thing inside your skull is a muscle. This thing is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The less you use it, the weaker it gets. The more muscle you get, the more you use it, the less muscle you get. There's a lot of people who done lost their damn mind because they done lost their damn muscle in their brain. And we know, we call them NPCs, bots, Pan-Africans, you know, natives. Motherfucker done lost their damn mind. Somebody go check on y'all boy Joy out here. My man out here tweaking. The last video I seen him drop, he said black people came from Native Americans. Somebody go check on y'all mans. He done lost his damn mind because he ain't using his brain. Just being real. People who still believe in left wing, right wing, liberalism. Like, y'all done lost y'all damn mind. You ain't using your brain. Because like in the newspaper just said, if you got the slightest common sense, you can see through our bullshit. That's what they told you. If you got the slightest common sense, you can see through our bullshit. But they had to make common sense not common anymore. Because they had to attack where common sense lives at. All right. Peep game, man. This is American Indian teachings. I'm being so for real. This is American Indian teachings that I'm giving you. This is what they destroyed. What do you think kind of scriptures and scrolls that we kept inside of our churches back then? Because back then, right, when they was destroying the World Fair and all this, which is our structures, we had libraries, we had churches, and I ain't talking about chicken, I'm talking about churches. We had hospitals, we had media, we had all this type of stuff. What type of scrolls from America you think we had? We had some deep shit that they hijacked. Them boys came across the Mayan and Olmec calendars and straight snatched it. Niggas don't even know how to read the Mayan calendar. They ain't even try to teach you in school. Don't even worry about how to read that shit. The Mayans just said the end of the world was coming in 2000 something, nigga. That's all you got to know. Don't even worry about that. They ain't even bothered to teach you about it. And that's American history. They sure taught you about the Gregorian calendar, though. She said, Earth speaks to us. Shit. I was going to say something, but I caught myself. My mama told me if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Nah, fuck that. I was going to say, somebody should ask Earth Speaks, is his mama Jewish? For real. Cause if y'all don't know, he is biracial, for y'all that don't know, right? His mama YT. Y'all should ask if his mama's a Jewish YT. If he block you, I think we got our answer. For real. If he block you, we got our answer. Cause I ain't gonna lie. If you put a little hat on him, I mean, I'm just saying, did you take a bar mitzvah as a child that you're not telling nobody about? We need to start asking these niggas this. Nah, for real, because there's a lot of black Chazars that pretend to be black Americans. I'm giving y'all a gem right here. There's a lot of black Chazars who's pretending to be black Americans. Because when you learn the black Chazars, because we all know about the white Chazars, right? We see them in plain sight and shit. Now, the black Chazars, some of them be like Obama type of niggas. Some of them be like W.B. Du Bois, right? Some of them might be a little Frederick Douglass out here, you know what I'm saying? Some of them might be Marcus Garvey because he was a devout Catholic. For those who don't know, Marcus Garvey was a devout Catholic, and a lot of his history is in Europe. So I'm just saying. But in history, the black Chazars become the black Anglo-Saxons. The black Anglo-Saxons is what we call black British today. There's a lot of black Britons who never left America in the 1600s because they was the first ones to come here before the YT brothers came later on in Ellis Island. The black Chazars came here first. They had to scope the scene out. right? They had to mingle with the Indians first. I'm telling y'all some real shit. They had to go back and report to what they seen. They said these is God people, bro. But again, like I read to y'all, in the secret doctrine of Christianity, right? And like I said, I got this book downloaded. We're gonna break it open for this side of teaching. But like in the secret doctrine of Christianity, your average Christian don't even know how to read the Bible. Your average Christian don't even know majority of the Bible is written in metaphors and parables. And a lot of people is not real. So when I show you stuff like, right? So when I show you stuff like this, we go into the Bible, the King James Version, 1600s. Literally the first edition of the King James when he was a prince in Ireland, right? And I go to this family tree. Your average Christian would think that these are real people. But these aren't real people. Because if you notice the Masonic symbolism, hold on, let me fix it. You'll understand the Masonic symbolism in the clouds. So Masonic symbolism already let us know that they're talking Gnostically. So Adam is atoms. Eve is evolution. When atom and evolution meet, you get physical reality, which is what we're experiencing right now when spirit beings come down into the flesh. The fallen angels ain't fallen angels. The fallen angels is you. Us. That is a metaphor. You got to understand that. How are you the fallen angel? Because you fell from heaven. Heaven is consciousness. Right? First, you are born in sin, right? Born into the physical reality, 3D, because of Adam and Eve, evolution. Then, once you're born here, they hit you with the jabby jab, which neuralize your consciousness. So now you begin to fall in consciousness, which thus making you a fallen angel. And your mission is to rise your consciousness and to get back on your God throne. This is a Gnostics. The snake is Kundalini energy, Sophia, divine wisdom. Remember we learned that, Nagas? Why are you a Naga? Why do you wear a feather that symbolizes the plum feather? Why you call yourself a Maru? Why you call America a Maru, the land of serpents? Serpent meaning wisdom. Kundalini. Gnosticism is from America. Eating from the fruit, from the tree of knowledge, which is, the tree is your body, the branches, vertebrae, ladders, serpent, Kundalini, coming down from consciousness to wake you up by eating the fruit of wisdom so you can then ascend back up the ladder, which is where you get Jacob's ladder from. Jacob meaning Yaqub. This is why Nation of Islam and all of them is teaching the wrong Yaqub story, because Yaqub ain't never gene spliced nobody. Yaqub is Jacob. Jacob is Yaqub. His story is climbing consciousness, which is Jacob's ladder. When he climbed consciousness, he met God. God meaning in your brain, consciousness. He realized it was himself. His name got changed to Is Real Light, because he finally experienced real light, real enlightening, real enlightenment. So Israel is not a place or a people. It is a metaphor for spirituality, ascension. and elevating. You gotta understand what you're reading. You gotta understand. So we get deep though, but we're gonna dive into that secret doctrine. We're gonna dive into that secret doctrine. And everything will start to make sense. Because when they start messing with your consciousness, they start messing with your electromagnetic field, which is what you call an aura. Something that we're all born with. Right? They mess with your consciousness to lower your electromagnet field. Your electromagnet field is what connects you to the ethers. Okay? Magnetism is God. It is the Holy Spirit. Magnetism gives birth to electricity, which is red shift, blue shift. Electricity is the birth of physical matter because electricity is dualistic. So everything else in creation, because everything is manifest from atom, electromagnetic torus fields, the dualistic vibration of electricity is why we have hot and cold, day and night, good and evil. This is why everything around you that has something to do with polar opposites is red and blue. Ether. Consciousness. The higher your consciousness, the higher your electromagnet field. Why you think the police lights is red and blue and your vibration gets low? As soon as you riding, for real, think about it. You can wake up, you can have a good day, man. You hop in your whip, it's a good day, it's sunny, man. You just enjoying the vibes. Boop, boop. Red and blue, your vibration drop instantly. Oh shit, you ain't even did nothing. You just be making sure, bro. I ain't got no warrants or nothing, right? Boy, goddamn, boy, I'm sweating and shit. What the fuck am I sweating? I'm nervous and shit. Yeah, instantly open you up for possession. Pepsi. Red Bull. Roses is red and violets is blue. Violets is violet. I never understood that. But you know roses are red, violets is blue. Violets ain't blue. Then what is violets? Violets is violets, nigga. Right? But peep game, red pill, blue pill. Just like they showed you in the Matrix. Or the infinite sign. If you want an idea of what your aura field look like, it's the infinite 8 sign, which is also a snake. It's also a serpent. You are in the middle, and you emit this around you, which is your electromagnetic field or your aura. You are in the center. You are the serpent. Exactly. That's why Crips and Bloods, exactly. Everything's red and blue. Republican, Democrat. Exactly. They do that to mess with your electromagnetic field. Again, our ancestors knew this. Our ancestors taught this. Our ancestors knew this. Our ancestors taught this. They knew this, and they tried to corrupt it. So our ancestors had to hide it. They taught you about it, but they had to hide the way they taught you. That's why when you woke up, you automatically became an Gnostic. Think about it. Everybody grew up in the church as a kid, went to church, Christian. Some of y'all got baptized, yada, 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 the whole nine. But when you woke up and you really, really woke up, you automatically went back into spirituality, Gnosticism. You start meditating, you start fasting, you start trying to learn about astrology, zodiacs, you start doing shadow work, inner work. You know, you start getting the concept of flat earth, dome, as above, so below, You start understanding the tree of life, the Holy Grail is within. You know, you automatically tap back into a Gnosticism because you broke the programming. When you break the programming layer by layer, your epigenetics come back. That's that junk DNA that they be talking about. The scientists be talking about that junk DNA shit. That's what the junk DNA. Junk DNA is epigenetics. It's literally ancestral memory. But they'll tell you junk DNA and ghost DNA. What's happening, Mr. Preparation? Peace, peace. So now when you read the Bible and they talk about 7 seals, understand that the 7 seals is your chakras. Listen to what I'm telling you. Now when you go back and you read the Bible and you understand a lot of this stuff is metaphysics and spirituality, when they talk about 7 seals will be broken in the Apocalypse and Revelations, that's your chakras. That's you breaking through the barriers that they placed on your chakras. And the serpent begins to rise again, which in the book they call Leviathan. Leviathan shall rise out of the waters, but the waters is primordial consciousness. The serpent shall rise out of the primordial waters consciousness, which is serpent, Kundalini, Sophia, divine feminine wisdom. You are the serpent. You are the so-called Antichrist that they talk about in their books. Because remember, they demonize you in their version of the story. So since you're demonized in their version of the story, you are their Antichrist. But in reality, you are coming to bring real Christ consciousness that was once forgotten. But to them, that is an Antichrist. Understand this. I thought we was talking about Indians and shit though, Los. We are talking about Indians. As Black Americans, you have always felt something different about you. And I know because I'm a Black American through and through, and I grew up with my people and I love my people. And I know this because we tapped in. As you grew up, you always figured, like, you just had a feeling. It's something more to this, something different. Okay, I hear what y'all say, but I don't know. It's something different about Black Americans. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something. We super influential, but we so-called the most oppressed, but everybody want to be like us so bad. But it seems like there's an open secret that ain't nobody telling us about us. What is it? This is the open secret. The open secret is that when you say, and when we say that we are God's chosen, that means that you are the closest to the monad of pure consciousness than you think. You are born with a soul and a spirit, a divine spark that literally came from source itself. Take that and do what you will. And everybody that's tied to us will feel the same energy. They will all rise from all 4 corners of the world, but it will begin in America first. This is why we are heavily polluted, the way that we are polluted. America is one of the, look, America is one of the most polluted places in the terms of chemicals because of the people that is here. They have to keep docile. Because the moment we stop being docile, we return to our natural states as revolutionaries, leaders, high vibrational beings, because that's who we naturally are. And that type of energy is contagious. We can change the world's culture because we are the most influential people. And some people around the world is looking for people, you know, looking for us to wake up and call and say something, call a shot. You'll be surprised how much power you have as being a literal descendant of the first people of Earth. Because America's the real old world. First land out of the waters. The first inhabitants is the first, and we the oldest. You the firstborn. They know this. The people in my background, they know this. They know this for sure. And again, it's not about skin complexion. Race is a social construct that these people created to make you go against each other as citizens of society. Some of your brothers and sisters who will fight alongside of you in this fight don't look like you. Some of them will be white people, because now all white people are Ashkenaz. Always keep that in memory. Some of them is your cousin, believe it or not. You know, it only takes 3 generations to make somebody so-called white. Some of these people your cousins. They only been white for like 3 generations. Imagine that, being melanated El Negro for millions of years and only being white for 3 generations. Some of these people your cousins. Keeping it real. I call them octoroons, quadroons, white passing biracial people. But again, they have to keep the family fighting against each other and distracted. They have to. As long as the citizens of society who is trapped inside the same matrix keep fighting against each other over theories and ideology that these people created, they not worried about y'all overthrowing shit. And I wouldn't either. Y'all too busy fighting each other. Y'all both my slaves. I got y'all both clocking in to a 9 to 5, working hard to the bone, paying for free shit. Shit, slavery ain't got no skin complexion. Anybody can be a debt slave. Understand that. Right wing, left wing, Democrat, Republican, liberal, independent, rainbow community, all type of crazy shit. Anything to keep you divided. Black lives matter. Well, blue lives matter. Anything to cause division to keep y'all distracted, they gonna do it. The longer you distracted, the more moves they can make on their chessboard. Society gotta wake up, not just black Americans, but society gotta wake up. Society has to wake up. This shit started off as an indigenous thing. This shit became a global thing now. But, you know, psyops on TV at an all-time high. They feeding y'all the CGI and AI media news. They staging crisis with not real people. Charlie Kirk, you know, all that shit, man. Yeah, that shit wasn't real. Those of us with eyes seen that shit wasn't real. They got you distracted with UFOs that look like African Americans and shit. People talking about the Anunnaki coming back. Yeah, nigga. I'm hopping on that spaceship going back to Nubaru. Oh, Lord, they got you. They got you. They created that theory, too. People don't even know where the Anunnaki idea come from, but they regurgitating it. Some people think it came from Dr. York. People never even heard of Zachariah Stitchens before. But they know for sure, nigga, Anunnaki, nigga. You heard the news, nigga. Since when y'all start believing the news? Y'all spent 20 years talking about, nigga, stop believing the news, nigga, the news fucked up. Now the news talking about some black aliens coming, now everybody believing that shit. Man, you heard what the news said, nigga, CNN, yeah, nigga, our people coming back to get us. Lord have mercy. What, they on black people time? Because it's taking forever. Damn, your TikTok shut down, that's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all already know what it is. We know the truth now in here. Yeah, I'm just saying, man. All that shit was created by these people, man. They got folks fighting over theories and ideas that ain't getting no people know by. Exactly. You got the word lie and alien. Oh yeah, nigga, they coming back. Ain't no Anunnaki built that shit, nigga. You built that. Y'all, baby, yes. The Anunnaki came down and taught our people how to build pyramids. Man, fucking Anunnakis, nigga. Our ancestors was already smart. We don't need nobody to teach us shit, nigga. We built the pyramids and we put our faces in it too when we got done, nigga. Cheese. We drew who built them up for us, nigga. Nigga with locks and big lips, nigga. Ain't no Anunnaki. I don't see that in the Mayan temples. I don't see that in the Olmec. Where niggas getting this shit from? They better research Zachariah Stitchens. Man, look. These niggas created that theory. Yakub ain't real. All these pseudo theories floating around. Ain't no Yakub gene splicing no white people into existence, nigga. That shit ain't real. Yeah, we was building them at nighttime. We was building the pyramids at nighttime. Facts. We was making the blocks in the daytime. We start building at nighttime. And we used our consciousness to build it. Because like I just broke down to y'all all day, all night, our ancestors knew about electromagnetic fields. They knew about atoms. They knew about quantum physics. They knew about the hologram universe. They knew about consciousness, breath, ether. They knew about free energy and all that type of shit. So people that already knew that sound like these people can build the pyramids to me because they got everything they need to build a pyramid, make a hieroglyph, astro project, and all of these things. We already knew that we was born with the intelligence. This is why they had to counter the intelligence with COINTELPRO. COINTEL is short for counterintelligence. If you got to counter the intelligence of society, society is already intelligent. You are already born with the intelligence because you was born with a divine spark. Babies are hella intelligent. Don't think you teaching them something. You ain't teach your baby how to walk. Your baby taught itself how to walk because it watched you walk. Okay. Daddy and mama stood up. Seemed like they got their thing called balance or some shit. I remember this part. I've been here before. Because remember, your kids, remember, they been here before, right? Okay, I remember this part. Okay, I gotta walk. Okay, boom, boom, boom. That's how they did it. Do. They see you do that a few times, couple of months. Okay, they go for it. Boom. They start stepping. Now they running. Right? Yeah, you made them remember. Something that they already knew that they had to do. Kids already know that they got to do this shit. They know they got to stand. They know they got to eat. You ain't really teaching them nothing. You only reminding them of stuff that they done already did before. Just like your parents did you. So when that mean we coming from something much intelligent than us, we coming from pure consciousness. We're all made from pure consciousness. Monad. Monad, the one, source, pure consciousness. It's all around you. You breathe consciousness. You are consciousness. The trees, the birds, the wind, the ethers, all of this is consciousness. That's why when you hold your breath and you pass out, it's because you lost consciousness. You got to continue to breathe consciousness to animate this body that we in. So we come from source. We don't come from no aliens. We don't come from Nubaru. We don't come from no Anunnaki. If you study Gnosticism, you'll understand that Anunnaki is the archons. The archons is the ones that help build the false reality. Them ain't no good people. If they was parasitical entities, which I wouldn't pass it, but they not good. They help y'all about to build this false reality. Y'all about this who everybody worship. And they don't even know they worship them. Everybody got these Jesus chains on. Man, that's Yaldabaoth on your neck. Jesus tattoos with scriptures. There's Yaldabaoth tattooed on your arm. You don't even know. There's some rapids, nigga. Chronos. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know who you got on your arm. This is why you shouldn't even have graven images. Because graven images are symbols. And if you don't know what the symbol is that you putting on your body, you cursing yourself. Everything is magic. Everything is spells. Everything is magic. Everything is atoms. Everything is quantum physics, metaphysics. Everything is multidimensional. Energy, electricity, vibrations, light, sound. Come on, man. That's why I can't have no church. Boy, my church have been torched by now. What's happening, Brass Prophet? For real. No, I can't have no church, boy. My church was being caught on fire by now. What? Them niggas are straight 1920. My church, boy. That was... I be teaching some of that real shit, nigga. For real. Oh, we got one. Like, man, for real. This is the shit that our ancestors used to teach us out in them churches, though. I'm just being real. Before they slid the police pastors into our community to make you docile. Some fucked up shit happened to us. Go march. March peacefully, though. And if it's a good march, we'll have an anniversary 10 years later for this march that we had today. What we gonna do with that? We're gonna march. They keep niggas marching in circles. Y'all feet ain't tired yet. Y'all feet ain't tired marching. Niggas been marching since like 1950s, nigga. We've been marching in circles. Marching in circles. Talking about we shall overcome. Overcome what? Niggas don't even know what they marching for. Hey, what you marching for? Man, I'm boycotting. What you boycotting? Nigga, Apple. Okay, but I'm gonna go to Walmart and grocery shop. You know, Apple and Walmart ran by the same people, right? So if you boycotting Apple and you refuse to buy a $500, $1,000 phone, you know you're gonna spend that same money inside the grocery store. They go right back to, okay, you know, I don't even want to explain it to people. And then when you boycott something, we need something inside of our community that we can go to, right? If we're boycotting cell phones, then somebody in the black community need to open up cell phone shops so niggas can start buying cell phones. so that money can flow around into our community, which is some economics, which is a whole nother live we ain't gonna get into. We're gonna boycott the African braiding people and African businesses. Like, I ain't never shot with an African in my 35 years of living, so I didn't even understand that boycott when people were screaming that. Hey, you gonna boycott Lowe's? Boycott what? Man, we boycotting African businesses. Nigga, I ain't never shot with an African before. The fuck, y'all got African stores where y'all at? You ain't buy no shea butter or nothing? Hell nah, nigga, I go to CVS. CVS got shea butter. The fuck? I know how to make shea butter. What the fuck I'm buying it for? I'm just saying, you know. Dashiki, nigga? Bruh, I ain't wear no dashiki since 2006. Niggas is still wearing dashikis? That's wild, G. That's crazy. I'm trying to figure out what would I get from an African store. Shit, I don't know what y'all be getting, but shit, that boy kinda ain't piqued my fancy. So if you're gonna boycott some shit, what I'm saying, you gotta make it make sense. So if you ain't boycotting these people on my background, shit, that boycott ain't gonna work for nothing. He said, Brand's prophet said, word, what can I get from an African store? Bruh, I don't know, G. I ain't never been into an African. I ain't even know Africans had stores, G. The only African store that I know about is the Ethiopian restaurants. And I ain't never even ate in that anyway. So, I mean, like, even if I do see one, I have never entered it. Cause I don't know what's in there. I'm just saying. I don't know what's in there, bro. I don't know what's in there, bro. He said you can get different herbs. I can get different herbs from my brothers and sisters in the herbal community. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I can go to Rainbow Blossom and get herbs. I ain't, you know. I can get that. I already get that. I don't go to the, I get herbs all day. Still ain't got to go to the African store for that. I don't know, man. When y'all find out, y'all let me know. Rainbow Blossom fire, hell yeah. You find everything you need in Rainbow Blossom. That's my shit. I'm a loyal member. Got them herbs outside the house abundantly. Very indigenously. Now I go to my Caribbeans, like outside of, you know what I'm saying, like mainland American Indian soul food. Y'all know our culture type shit. And shit, the next people I go to the Caribbeans, but ain't nobody about to make me stop going to my Haitian restaurant, bro, and getting my rice and beans with my jerk chicken and my mac and cheese. You feel me, like. And my Haitian champagne soda. Like, ain't nobody about to make me start getting that shit. So y'all can go ahead and hang that up. So if y'all ever try to start boycotting Haitians, and y'all know I'm part Haitian, y'all know what it is on the here. What's that in Booker Johnson? Peace, peace. Yeah. So I don't just like, nah. Haitian food be, man, Haitian food fire, and you gonna get full. I'm telling you. Look, I ain't trying to hate or not my Jamaican brothers and sisters, but you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people be complaining about customer service a little bit. You know, y'all, the ones up here where I'm at, y'all ain't never got no oxtails on deck. You did, you know, I just be, you know, I be a little, you know, you feel me? Yeah, bro. Haitian gonna make sure you get full. They gonna give you a lot of rice, and they probably gonna give you like 3 oxtails, you know, maybe 2, depending how well you know them. Yeah, the food be good and shit. It be that customer service though. I be like, damn, fam, why you gotta be rude, G? You gotta be rude, nigga. What you think you ain't gonna have no customers today or something like that? Isn't this not a restaurant, G? Y'all might want to open up a shoe store or something. The whole food business is about hospitality. They don't even care if you're a fellow Caribbean. I'm like, I'm Ye Sean. Nah, but I love my Jamaican brothers and sisters though, man. It's all love though. The food be slamming once you get it though. Once you get it, the food be slamming. But damn, you just had alligator nuggets with fries and corn. Alligator nuggets is fire. I told you, Mil Nine. What, Naga? I told you. Alligator nuggets is fire. If y'all in the South or ever in the South, bro, go find you the bayous or the deltas or find somebody that sell alligator nuggets, bro. Get you some alligator nuggets and some fries. I'm talking about good eating. And it ain't none of that fatty meat. It's that good meat. I'm telling you. That's that good old Creole food right there. Your Caribbean side like that, yeah. I understand. We always considered the West Indies. When them folks landed, all of this was considered the West Indies. From the southeast of the United States, all the way to the adjoining islands, to the top of South America. They call us all West Indians. This is why we kind of got all the similar and same stuff on our land masses. And for real. The dead giveaway is the oxtails. I'm gonna keep it real. The dead giveaway, one dead giveaway that we are the same people is the oxtails. We all love oxtails. I'm talking about from the southeast soul food to the Caribbeans. We all love oxtails. And our grandmama's been cooking that shit for generations. With the rice. Depending on your type of cornbread, because we both got cornbread, but we make cornbread a little bit different. That's what I can say. Like, us in the southeast and the Caribbeans, we make cornbread a little bit different. Like with Haiti, with Haitian, our version of cornbread is I forgot the name, but it's flattened, just like how we read inside the American Indian contribution book. Like some American Indians make the cornbread flat. In Haitian, ours is flat. Versus us in the southeast, we make it fluffy. Some of us make cornbread muffins, and some of us just make a good cast iron cornbread when you just go in there and slice your slice and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Yup, some do it all. Yup. Hot water cornbread, same thing. Yup. Cause my grandma, when she do oxtails, she do what? Oxtails, rice, beans, mac and cheese, cornbread, and she'll do collard greens. And that's what we made with my grandma dish of oxtails. And she shot her from Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? So that's how she been doing it. What's saying, John Doe? Peace. Oh yeah, we're gonna use that corn. One thing about Indians, we're gonna use that corn and we're gonna use that rice. We damn near gonna put rice with everything. For real. One thing about us Indians, we're gonna use that rice, that corn, and some beans. We're gonna use that. We're gonna make gumbo. You feel me? We're gonna make gumbo. We're gonna make seafood boils. We're gonna make goulash. Y'all know what that goulash is. Stop playing with me. We're gonna make goulash. We're gonna make all type of shit. Beef stew. You said my is corn and Haitian Creole. Oh no, you see my and prairie means mashed potatoes. Okay. Yeah, my is the beginning of Mayes. So I can see why my will also stand for corn too. My or may I. Oh, not potatoes? I misread that then, my bad. Okay, I got you. But we've been fighting these same people though, from the islands to the mainlands. This is where another part of the history is connected. We've been fighting these same people. When we talk about the Haitian Revolution was fighting these same people right here. Because when you think about France at the time of the Haitian Revolution, France has already been conquered by the little hat people, the Germans, the Polish, the Armenians, the Turks, all these people who's pretending to be Romans today, right? So they have already been conquered by these folks, right? And when I say conquer, I'm not saying I know Haiti won, but we won, it came with a cost, which is also a loss. So it's like you got a win, but we also got a loss because we had to pay France reparations back. But we wasn't paying France, we was paying the little hat people because they didn't already infiltrated, right? So we was already fighting these folks. And again, the Caribbeans is another story of Sephardic Jews and so-called Moors and Indians clicking up together fighting the crown and the church. The church at the time is these people on my background. The first thing they infiltrated was the church, around about like 1 AD. Right? Peep game. It's always been these people all through history. It's always been these people through history. It's always been these folks. The veil is just being lifted and everybody is just starting to see it now. Those with eyes starting to see it now. So, I mean, we pretty much at the end of the live. If anybody want to come up, add some gems, the panel is open. But hope y'all enjoyed that segment of the lesson. And remember, they've been playing in y'all faces. Because if this is the first camera, who the fuck took the picture? Because they just been playing in our faces the whole time. This is the first camera. Well, who took the picture of the first camera, bro? Right? They never invented nothing. They only found old technology that was already here. Because remember, this is the same time frame when they destroyed America. Remember what I just showed y'all, what America was. Very extravagant. So a lot of these so-called inventions and this shit, that's bullshit. That camera always been around. A lot of this stuff have always been around. There's pictures that's locked away in the Vatican archives that will blow your mind. That predates 16 and 1700s. Shalom, shalom. I'm telling you. These people playing in your face. So, but with that being said, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here though. Because today was a good live. I enjoyed it. And I feel like if I go any further, you know what I'm saying, y'all know how TikTok be doing your boy. So when that feeling come across, you know, we gotta interact. That's your intuition. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I hope y'all got something out of the live, something that you can take with you and further your journeys of enlightenment. And if you're interested, I will be going live tomorrow morning as well too, for Cushion Coffee in the morning, and we're gonna dive a little bit more deeper into a Gnosticism and history, put it together just like we did tonight. So thank you for the likes, the love, the gifts. Shout out to the subscribers. Shout out to the OGs, the in-between. Shout out to the new folks. If you new, hit that follow button. Appreciate y'all. Vibrate high. Peace, prosperity, abundance, gratefulness, gratitude, and appreciativeness. Practice serenity. Control what you can control. Let go of what you can't control. And have the wisdom to know the difference so you can balance out all karma in your life, good or bad. All right? All right, see y'all in these TikTok streets.